Welcome, everybody, back to Slices of Seattle, the short form version of the Slice of Seattle podcast. It has been a few weeks since we have done an episode. It is July 4th today, so I thought there's been a lot of news that's been going on in sports this week, specifically Seattle sports. So I want to take some time to do an episode and really dive into everything that we've missed. We got the new Mariners, kind of not quite a hoodie, it's kind of like a waterproof thing. It's really nice though. I really like it. It looks really nice. So I'm wearing it while I'm doing this. It's gonna be perfect. So, without further ado, welcome back to Slices of Seattle. Let's jump in. Let's do a little segment that I just am toying with. I'm gonna start doing, which is headline havoc. It is everything that has happened this week in sports, all the main headlines, all the important news. Let's jump into it and let's give you a rundown of what happened this week in sports. So, kicking it off, Joey Chestnut earlier today won his 17th Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championship at Wimbledon. Defending champ Carlos Alcaraz has advanced to the fourth round alongside Americans Taylor Fritz and Amanda Anisimova. Additionally, sixth ranked women tennis player Madison Keys was the victim of an upset as she was eliminated in straight sets to end her Wimbledon dreams. The MLB has finally released the full starting roster for the AL and NL All Star teams, which does include Cal Raleigh as the starting catcher for the AL and also in the Home Run Derby, which we will get to a little later on in this episode. Luis Ortiz, a pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians, is under investigation for gambling on the outcomes of his own first pitches, one of which was against the Seattle Mariners back on June 27th. Former Vancouver Canucks forward Todd Bertuzzi is coming out of retirement at age 50 to play senior AAA hockey with the Cambridge Hornets. The Blue Jays swept the Yankees in 4 games this week, officially knocking New York out of first place for the first time since April this year in the AL East. And of course, finally, NHL free agency kicked off this week with a flurry of roster changes and some shocking developments, including Mitch Marner to Las Vegas, Florida retaining Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, and Aaron Ekblad, Nikolaj Ehlers to the Hurricanes, Dmitry Orlov to the Sharks, Brent Burns to the Avalanche, Corey Perry to the Knights, Brandon Tanev to the Mammoth, and of course Ryan Lindgren to the Seattle Kraken, which we will talk about here in a little bit. But that does it for the headlines for this week. Let's jump in and let's start talking Seattle sports. So, kicking it off, Mariners. Look, there's the elephant in the room every single time I go do one of these episodes, and I just gotta start with this guy, Cal Raleigh. I mean, just an absolute stud this year. Stud, STUD, all caps. He was just announced as the starting catcher for the AL All Star team. He's also going to be participating in the Home Run Derby. So I mean, he's also the AL Player of the Month, which I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the AL who deserves it more than Cal Raleigh. Not even Aaron Judge. And granted, Aaron Judge is having a pretty good season so far this year. I think you got to give it to Cal Raleigh. I mean, he's just been having just breakout season right now. Historic in a lot of different ways. But I will say earlier this week too, in that series against the Kansas City Royals, he took some like home run derby batting practice. So it was just batting practice that was kind of oriented at hitting home runs. Then later in that day, he went, I think, 0 for 4. It was a golden sombrero. Um, so look, it's no surprise. A lot of players have done the home run derby, and then afterwards, sometimes their swing gets a little messed up, or maybe they get hurt. I think that happened with Julio too in the 2022 derby. I believe he had a hand injury that was made worse, I think, by the derby. So some guys come out of the derby with their swings kind of broken because now they're trying to hit home runs because that's the whole point of the home run derby. Um, but some guys their swings might end up a little bit better after the home run derby. Maybe they start trying to elevate the ball a little bit more, and now they're hitting more homers during the actual season. It's kind of hard to tell. It's hard to tell how Cal is going to come out of the home run derby, especially considering the fact that he's an Iron Man. I mean, he plays almost every single game, literally almost every single game. And the fact that now he's going to be playing another game during the All Star break, doesn't get a break. He's going to play in the All Star game, and he's going to be doing the home run derby. It's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this impacts his health and whether or not he's going to be able to stay healthy for the rest of the year. Especially considering that we're still in the hunt for the playoffs, we could still be a wild card team, and I mean, there's also still a lot of time until for us to possibly regain the lead in the division and get back to first place. There's a lot of avenues for us right now to possibly get to the postseason. So I think you want Cal Raleigh to be as healthy as he possibly can be. But I don't necessarily know if him staying healthy needs to involve him not playing in the All Star game. I think he probably can. I think he can play in the All Star game, stay healthy, and then we can get to playoffs and maybe go a little deep into playoffs. That's 100% a possibility that I can see. But yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about for Cal Raleigh. The other guy on the Mariners that we got to talk about right now, Randy Arozarena. He's been hot, very hot past couple of days. I believe it's 4 home runs in 3 games. So he's just been hitting the ball really, really well, seeing the ball really well, which is exactly what the Mariners need. We need some guys besides Cal Raleigh, some guys whose name is not Cal Raleigh, to start hitting the ball really well. And right now, that's been Randy. Randy's been hitting the ball really well. On the other side of that, Julio has he's not been hitting the ball really well. There's been a number of times where I've been watching Mariners games, runners in scoring position, bases loaded, whatever, and Julio just can't get it done. And that's just something you don't want to see out of the face of your franchise. And I mean, I used to always say that Julio was the face of the franchise. Right now, I'd have to say Cal Raleigh is the face of the franchise, without a doubt. It's not Julio, and it's not even close. But Randy Arozarena, hey, I mean, I don't love Randy Arozarena. Anyone who's listened to the Slice of Seattle knows that I have a bunch of different grievances and gripes against him. One of my grievances is that I think he's a bit of a streaky player. I don't think he's very consistent. So how excited should you be about Randy Arozarena hitting 4 homers in 3 games? Moderately. It's good. It's fun to watch. It helped us win that game against the Royals. But he's going to come back down to earth. He's probably going to come back down pretty hard and get really cold because that's just what he tends to do. So wouldn't get too excited about Randy Arozarena hitting 4 home runs in 3 games or whatever it was. But be prepared for him to come back down to earth and cool off a little bit. That doesn't mean he won't get hot again. Again, he's a streaky player. He's not consistently bad and he's not consistently good. So I don't think those kind of guys help you win championships. They don't help you get to playoffs. So if you were to ask me, I think that we should probably trade Randy Arozarena. But you don't ask me that. So moving on. Look, Logan Evans last night had an amazing performance, a scoreless performance through 5 innings. And it's good to see him. I like Logan Evans. I love watching Logan Evans pitch. And so it was a little frustrating that the relief pitching kind of blew the scoreless performance from him. But then the other side of that is that the Mariners, they just couldn't get any run support for him either. So it was kind of a 2 things at the same time that he can't control. He can't control the relief pitching. He can't control the run support. But in spite of that, put up a really great performance. 5 innings of lockdown pitching. And again, I'm going to use this time to harp on the fact that I think we should have a 6-man rotation. I think it should be Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo, Emerson Hancock, and Logan Evans. Those are 6 quality arms. And, the argument has been that you go with the 5-man rotation so you have that extra guy in the bullpen to come in relief and be able to help go those middle innings or whatever right before you get your closer in. I think if you have a 6-man rotation with the history that this rotation has of being able to go pretty late into ball games, a little less this year. There've been a lot of starts where guys haven't quite gone as far as maybe they have in years before. But I think that having a 6-man rotation using those arms, Evans, Hancock, Kirby, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, it's you could make up for not having that extra relief man, and you could probably. I think the change might be minimal in terms of how many games you win, but I just think it'd be really fun to watch to see a 6-man rotation, getting to see all those guys get to start day after day after day after day. Because that's one of the things I love about Mariners baseball is the fact that we can just put a phenomenal starting pitcher out every single day, and and the other side that sucks is that then we don't get any run support, and then we lose half those games, which is awful. But besides that, looking at the AL West at the moment, the Mariners are 7 games out of first place. At one point, we were first place at the start of the year, and we've now slid back to 7 games out of first place. Houston Astros, of course, sitting atop the division. And the other part of that, too, is the Los Angeles Angels, who I kind of completely discounted at the start of the year. I did not think they were going to be a threat whatsoever, and I thought the Athletics were going to be more of a threat. But apparently it's the Angels are 1.5 games behind the Mariners. So they're kind of nipping at our heels. and we got a bit of a steep climb to get back to first place. So, look, there are some stuff that the Mariners can do to be able to get ourselves back to first place, or at least close some of the ground that we need to make to maybe get to the wild card, for example. And there are some trades that can be made. The trade deadline coming up. The three main ones that I've been hearing floated around that I want to talk about are these trades where it is potentially getting Alex Bregman from the Red Sox, Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez from the Diamondbacks, or weirdly getting Ronald Acuna Jr. from the Braves. And look, I'm gonna give you my takes on this and who I think what trades we should go after, what trades we shouldn't go after. And I'm just gonna start off by saying I do not think we should get Alex Bregman. I mean, I have Alex Bregman on my fantasy team, so I mean, I know he's a good baseball player. I know he plays a good third base. He can hit the ball really well. But you know, as a Mariners fan, I don't want the Houston Astros cast-offs. I don't. I think he played for that team that we all know what happened during that time, and I don't want that playing for Seattle. I just don't. And I also think getting one guy isn't necessarily the move I want to make. One okay third baseman. Actually, that's not doing him enough credit. A really good third baseman. I just want one guy. And that's why I think the Mariners should go with getting Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Because if you look at the Mariners right now, I would say our two largest holes where we need more production: first base, glaringly so, and possibly third base. Love Ben Williamson. He's been a great young talent, and he's come up and he's been kind of a small ball guy, getting singles, not hitting for power that much. But I think if we can get that package deal of Josh Naylor at first base, Eugenio Suarez at third, I think that is just an absolutely perfect combination to add some power to the lineup, to get two quality hitters, two really good hitters, to then be able to boost the opportunity for the Mariners to be able to close that 7 game gap, get back to maybe first place, or at least maybe just sneak into the wild card and then have enough power in the lineup to then compete in October. And part of the reason why I think we should go after that is because Mariners have pitching, Diamondbacks don't. I believe they're 25th in the league right now for team ERA. So I think you can target that. You know they need a quality arm, a good pitcher. And if you want to get two really good guys, Josh Naylor or Eugenio Suarez, trade one of your arms. And I wouldn't necessarily say a relief arm or anything like that. I'd say trade somebody like Luis Castillo or Bryce Miller, somebody that could really help out the Diamondbacks that they would be willing to accept in exchange for their first and third baseman. So I'd say somebody like Bryce Miller or Luis Castillo, or maybe they're thinking of somebody else in the bullpen too, like George Kirby, Brian Wu. I don't think we should trade George Kirby, Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, Logan Evans, or Emerson Hancock. I think those are guys we should hold on to. They've done pretty well this season. Bryce Miller has struggled. Luis Castillo has stumbled a little bit. He's still really good. But those are two guys who are still good, but are kind of, I'd say, the odd men out of this rotation. The Mariners could trade in exchange for a really good first baseman and a really good third baseman. And I liked Gino when he played for us, so I 100% think they should pursue that avenue pretty aggressively. And then, of course, there's the weird trade on this that everyone's talking about, Ronald Acuna Jr. Look, I wouldn't be opposed to it. He's incredibly talented, and it looks like the Braves might be in the market to trade a lot of guys and offload a little bit. The only thing I would say is we have kind of a star center fielder in Julio. Randy Rosarena in left field is doing pretty good. Right field has been a bit of a black hole, and I think if we brought Acuna on, we'd probably have him play right field, or find some other combination. But he'd probably be playing corner outfield. He's a great bat, no doubt. He'd be a great acquisition, but I just don't know exactly what we'd be willing to give up to get Ronald Acuna Jr. So I'd be surprised if we made that trade. I think it would be a really good get, offensively, defensively. But I think what we would give up Might be more than what we're getting for just getting Ronald Acuna Jr. That's the only thing I'll say about that. And that's all I'm going to say right now for the Mariners. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Kraken. Look, NHL free agency. I mentioned it before. A lot of moves, a lot of guys signing with different teams, and the Kraken picked up some pretty big names. Starting off, you got Ryan Lindgren, the defenseman from the Avalanche. Look, I think this is a pretty good addition to the team. I mean, he's averaging 16.5 points per season. He only played 18 games last year. I think that he's not quite a star. I wouldn't say he's a superstar that we're bringing on. He's not young. I think he's about 27 years old. Um, so I don't think he's necessarily going to be a superstar that we're bringing on this team who's just going to be just scoring points constantly. He's not. He's going to be a good defenseman. Good defensemen don't necessarily score a ton of points unless you're like Montour or Dunn, which I think they put up a pretty good amount of points last year, which is a bit of an anomaly for a lot of defensemen. But I think he's going to be a good addition to the D line with Montour and Vince Dunn. So I'm happy with that addition. I think that makes the team better. I think he's a good add to the team. And then, of course, they was also announced that the Kraken picked up Matt Murray, goaltender from, I believe, the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's got a career save percentage of 910. He's not played that many games in any of the seasons that he's played. He's played for quite a while. He's 31 years old. He's a bit of a veteran when you really get down to it. But I'd say he'd be a pretty quality backup goaltender, backing up Joey DeCourt, for example. And that brings me to the thing that I think that Grubauer might be on his way out. We put him on waivers last year, picked him back up off waivers, and then have said that we expect to hold him on the team and have him play in 2025, 2026. Do I think we should do that? No, I don't think so. There's a reason why we put Grubauer on waivers. I think statistically he was one of the worst goaltenders in the league. So I think, without a doubt, Grubauer should be on his way out. Matt Murray should be our backup goaltender. Maybe we could trade Grubauer for somebody, and maybe that's what the plan is. Use Grubauer as a package deal for something to go get a forward or a defenseman, maybe. But I definitely don't foresee Grubauer being a goaltender or playing very many games with the Kraken next year. I don't think so. I think Matt Murray's going to take over as the backup goaltender for Grubauer. And then, of course, the third major acquisition we made was Mason Marchment from the Dallas Stars, that's big. That's huge. I mean, he had 47 points last season, which would have ranked him fourth on the team. He is 30 years old. So, again, Matt Murray's 31 years old. Marchment is 30 years old, so kind of getting up to veteran status. I think he's a good addition. He's a left wing. He would be a first, second line guy. So I think that these three, Lindgren, Murray, Marchment, I think it's great that we're taking guys from the Avalanche and from the Stars, which are the West Conference rivals. Great, that's amazing because we kind of poach some of that talent. I think that there are guys who are going to they're good additions. These additions make the Kraken better. I'm not angry with any of these. I don't think these are a waste of money or anything like that. Lindgren and Marchment are going to be two great additions that I think are going to make this team better, without a doubt. So I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, there's going to be some more moves in the offseason as we get closer. I think first game of the season is going to be in October. So there's still a lot more offseason left. There's going to be a lot more moves made. But so far, the moves made right now by the Kraken this offseason, I think have been pretty strong. The only thing I'll say is I just expect they're going to do something with Grubauer here coming up before the start of the season. Either they're going to trade him, release him, but I don't see him being on the Kraken to start the year. So that's going to do it for this episode of Slice of Seattle. Please subscribe to the Instagram, to the YouTube, so you can listen to the full episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, it is a great day to have a great day.